I'm going to have to retract my 35% house price fall prediction because I have just been made aware of something that has blown my mind. It's very late. I've got 3 sleeping children, hence I'm talking very quietly, and Amri's been out. She's not back yet. But I wanted to get this done and published tonight because I think it's dynamite. I'll put a link under this video to the government's Autumn Statement November web accessible PDF, which is 70 pages long. And on page 54, at the very end of the Work, Welfare and Pensions section, in paragraph 5.16, it says the following: reforming support for mortgage interest. To support mortgage borrowers with rising interest rates, the government will allow those on universal credit to apply for a loan to help with interest repayments after 3 months instead of 9. The government will also abolish the zero earnings rule to allow claimants to continue receiving support while in work and on universal credit. This will come into effect in spring 2023. Now, there's no more detail than that, and what this means will depend enormously on exactly how it is implemented, but it is, to a certain extent, a form of mortgage bailout and indirectly a form of bank bailout, and it will have an impact on house prices in that it will soften the falls. But, there's a big but. If you, as a universal credit recipient, take out another loan, which will be secured on the property on which you've got a mortgage, what you're doing is you're loading up your already overvalued asset with yet more debt. And this is yet another instance of the government kicking the can down the road and finding a way to prop up the market, because this will massively reduce repossessions. It's very clever in that respect. It will massively reduce repossessions, but it is simply saving up a bigger problem for further down the road, and at which point you could see much bigger house price falls, but probably not for another 4 years from now. At some point, anyway, I don't know. It's too far out to predict it, but if this is what I think it is, then it will pretty much stop repossessions happening altogether, because if you can't afford to pay your mortgage interest, you can get, and you're unemployed and you're universal credit, the government will either lend you money or will guarantee a loan from a bank that will lend you money that will be secured on your property to pay your mortgage. So great news for people who might have been going to lose their house while in negative equity or have their house repossessed. Fantastic news for those. And I think this probably means house price falls are probably going to be 15 to 20% now, not the 35% that I predicted, because this is a massive mattress underneath the property market that's going to support it. It's going to stop repossessions, it's going to stop people losing their homes, and it's going to prop up house prices continually, which is good news for some people, bad news for others, and ultimately I think, and it depends on how this is implemented, it is the taxpayer guaranteeing loans on properties. Now, there's an awful lot of talk about the Great Reset and bank bail-ins and that kind of stuff, and there's definitely merit in more questions being asked on what this is going to do down the line. And I think the devil will be in the detail, but I think right now what journalists need to be doing, journalists who have contacts in government, need to be saying, well, this is a bombshell buried in page 54 of a 70-page document. The very last paragraph in the welfare and pensions section is actually a mortgage bailout. I mean, that's what it is. Hey, if you can't afford to pay a mortgage, we'll lend you the money to pay it for you. And you won't have to be You won't have to wait 9 months and then have to wait 3. Now, why would they do that? It's because they know what's coming. So guys, I wanted to share that with you. I've linked to the document under this video, or wherever you're watching this video, there is a link. And if you're watching this video where there isn't a link, then go to YouTube and look for this video, which I'm now going to work out what title it's going to have. Whew. But yeah, this totally changes my 35% house price falls forecast, because a lot of you, and I've got to give you credit, a lot of people in the comments have been saying the government won't let house prices fall too much, they will step in. And I said, no, I can't see that happening, because how can they support mortgage payers without supporting tenants? And that question now remains. If you're going to support people in universal credit with mortgages over and above their universal credit, are you going to support people who can't afford to pay their rent because it's going up? I don't know, just what I think. This is an absolute bombshell. And to me, the biggest surprise is why it wasn't mentioned at all. It was just hinted at there's going to be support for mortgage repayments, but it's almost like they're sweeping this under the carpet. And I think it deserves more investigation. But it is big news for the housing market. Massive news. Much bigger news than the stamp duty news. This is huge. Anyway, guys, I've got to get some sleep, and I'll talk to you soon.